Alright, so we're doing this question, number 24. The difference between two numbers G and L is 6. So the way I'm going to think about this, I have G minus L gives me 6. So it's saying like the space in between these two numbers is 6. This first equation is really important. It's written in the standard form, general form method. The first question said to generate some data. So like I could say, okay, so we have G and L. I know the difference is 6. If G was 1, this could be 7. If it was 2, this could be 8. Okay? And let's think of it the other way, sorry. If this was 8, this would be, the difference is 6 is 2. This was 7, this would be 5. Oh my gosh, sleepy. It would be 1. Okay? That kind of idea. So when we look over here, G is the big number. L is the small number. And the two of them have a difference of 6. I honestly don't like doing this method. I like just trying to write it as the equation to start. You can try and do this method if it works better for you. It's easier to see the pattern. So we have our equation here. If I take the big number and I take away the little number, I'll have 6 left over. That makes sense. Now what I need to do is actually graph this to show what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the letters so it's a little easier to understand. This will be X and this will be Y. Okay? So when I actually graph it, okay, I'm going to rearrange it so it's y equals. So y equals negative x plus 6, y equals x minus 6. That's our y equals equation. So my slope is 1. I'm going to start from negative 6 here. And the slope goes up by 1, so every time it's going to increase by 1. Okay, and then we can keep going from there. So looking at this, each of these points represents a possible pair of numbers. So for example, this point right here, if y was equal to negative 6, x would equal to 0. And if we think about it, those two numbers have a difference of 6. They make sense. Same with over here, if we looked at this intercept, y is equal to 0 and x is equal to 6, which again has a difference of 6. If we look at this point, this is going to be x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 1. There's an infinite number of possibilities, and in theory, all the points in between as well. So like if this was x is equal to 7.5, y would be equal to 1.5, and those two work as well. So the idea is just understanding that based on this equation that we made in standard form, these two numbers that are related, x and y, are like whatever, if you find out what x is, if x was 3, you know the matching number that goes with it is over here on your y-axis. I think that it said to list 5 pairs, which are pretty easy. You could just write them out. 1 and 6, 2 and 8, 1 and 7, 2 and 8, 3 and 9, etc., that kind of thing. Or you could use your actual graph to see what they are. The important thing about this question is understanding how to set up the equation. When it says difference, it's negative, as well as translating it into a graph.